straight into that. I said, clap, and you did. Thank you. I am wearing the guns. It's like a really psychotic orchestra up here. The balance trick, that's where we were. All right, this trick now might take 2 or 3 tries to see what happens today. But we'll try to get that gun to the palm without using the left hand as the setup, and here we go. And don't worry, totally unloaded. Good. We're going to start again with that barrel tap up over the shoulder and then back. Oh, it's 2 times today. Up, around, stay. There you go. And once in a while, the left hand will get involved. You guys are seeing an all right show. You don't have to come to the next one. This one's okay. You guys having a good time? Yeah! Well, this is the part of the show where I just stare at you like you stare at me. It's awkward, isn't it? It's like when I met my wife for the first time. It took her a while to see me through her blinds, but you know. Anyway, let's move right along. And when you just start learning to twirl an old 6-gun, like I'm sure everybody does, right? Yeah. Anyway, the backward spin is about as basic as it gets for those of us that do try this sort of thing. And by the weight of the guns, you can feel when that thing starts moving just right and true. You can also then start doing the forward spin, which is a little bit tougher. And then, as we were doing earlier with Jim, you're using basically these 3 fingers to stop the barrel, block it, send it the other direction at just the right moments and things like that. So what you got to do is learn to curl your trigger finger, not straight because the gun will walk off, but curl your trigger finger right on the center knuckle without doing this. Everybody try that. Curl the trigger finger. Good. Is also the best way to shake people's hands. They love that, right in the palm. Yeah, raise an eyebrow, say I'm a gunslinger, and see what happens. Anyway, if you can get your fingers in and out of the way of the barrel at just the right moments, you can go back and forth, changing directions nice and fast, and then put it away anytime you want. There you go. All right, now, building upon the premise of the backward spin, you can start turning that wrist slowly but surely into a 90 like so, a 180, or even an awkward 360. It's a little easier for some reason. You just walk around the gun right up until the end. Now, I waited a lot of tables before this did anything for me. Nothing wrong with waiting tables, but I spent a lot of time at Applebee's taking orders, and I took a tray of drinks once, and I turned the tray around without spilling the drinks. And I thought, man, there's a gun spinner move in that. Thank you, Applebee's, for putting me over the top. I did my first History Channel segment as a guest expert while still working there, and as luck would have it, one day in the noon hour, all 7 TV monitors were tuned into the History Channel, which happened to just be my episode. I thought it was pretty obvious who was waiting their table and on the TV monitor above their head. However, these 2 girls didn't leave me any money. They wrote on a napkin and said, here's your tip, take better care of your table and less time watching television. So anyway, I don't work there anymore. Anyway, moving right along. And I've been lucky enough to do a lot of History Channel, Discovery Channel, Biography Channel, Military Channel, Spike TV Channel, the Food Network Channel, all the channels that don't pay very much, I've been on those. As far as behind the scenes stuff, if you've seen Looper, Gangster Squad, Reach Me, Jonah Hex, Hail Caesar, or upcoming Westworld on HBO, those are some I get to coach some of the actors and stuff. How many people have seen the movie Tombstone? Yeah. I had nothing to do with that movie. That was a good flick though. Michael Biehn did all his own gun handling with some training by a guy named Phil Reed, doing some of the stuff you see up here today, coming out and around, and then he did a really cool window washer technique with some crazy eyeballs. Anyway, this one here is called a horizontal flat spin, but it's ending in an upright shooting position, which is kind of an easier way to end it without dropping the gun. If you practice a while to do a really cool Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off deal with your hand, you can learn to do a longer extended horizontal flat spin back and forth without dropping the gun. And the trick is to keep that hand moving, like I said, back and forth quite a bit. Keeps the gun wanting to fly out versus down and off the finger. Now, in most of my travels and competitions, that's usually about as far as I've seen it taken, so I practice to go a little bit further than most. And really wind up the gun there and bring it back around and then roll it home. There you go. Now, I attended college for 3 semesters. Yes. Right, kids? Before I realized it would be so much cooler to be a full-time gunslinger for a living than anything I could study for. That sort of thinking really impressed my parents when I said, Mom, Dad, I quit school for good. I'm just going to play with these all the time. Nowadays, that puts you right on top of a watch list. Back then, it was a little easier to do. We still debate my decision. Anyway, I did take something from physics class. An object in motion tends to want to stay in motion. I wanted to do the longest flat spin ever seen in the gun spinning world. which unfortunately is not a big world. But as long as you keep moving with the gun, you could go on, I realize, indefinitely with inertia and all that stuff, but as tough and innovative as that trick is, as a cowboy trying to look mean and intimidating, walking down Main Street of an old cow town, you probably wouldn't look so hot doing this. Down the street, right? Howdy. I'd probably get shot right away. Yeah. All right, well, let's get to the holstering part of the show. All the great cowboys of that silver screen had a very fancy way to go in and out of this holster, so they look especially good in front of that camera. Because you can't sit there like so, and then dispatch the bad guy, and then do it this way, right? You got to go with a nice, smooth, confident roll. So far, I have been doing it. We in the business call rolling in the front door, which is a steady roll into the front of the holster. The guns are not modified or balanced in any way. Like I said, I do go shooting with them right off the Cimarron shelf. You just get a feeling when that barrel is in the right position to bring it back, drop it in. You can also roll it out the back door there, go in that way for a change of pace. I made up one of my own very difficult, much smaller target when you go 90 degrees from the side, dropping it in like so. And once in a while, the Lone Ranger would do a really cool McTwist deal like that. But the greatest has got to be this old black and white TV series called Have Gun Will Travel. Doesn't matter if you know it or not, but figure everything back in the 50s and 60s on TV or in the movies was a Western. If you were starring in your own Western TV show, you had to have your own signature move to put away your gun so you looked way cooler to all your buddies, right? And this is what the actor Richard Boone did for his show. I'm sure it took years to learn. It's a two-part method. In fact, they open every episode with it. Watch close. Here we go. Yeah, bravo, buddy. They did add, you know, some orchestra music to it. Ba-na-da-na. And I think that's because in the editing room, the editor was like, is that all he's going to do? Kind of like Jaws without the banner. What would it be, right? Anyway, moving right along, we're going to get into some cooler stuff here because you've seen plenty of tricks. You're probably wondering, could he hit anything? Is there any accuracy involved? Yes? Some of you just looking for a place to sit down, and that's okay. I gotta do my show either way. How many people have seen my show before? Raise your hands if you've seen it before. Yeah? Okay, and let's see. How about over there? You guys seen my show? No? No? I'm going to, you just adjusted your sunglasses. Can I borrow you? You look happy. Come on down. Yeah, you. Yeah, come on down. Having a good time way in the back. See, I like to choose people that look like they may leave any second. I'm just kidding. But we're going to do something interesting, and you're going to help me out. What is your name? Sam, everybody. Say hello to Sam. All right, Sam, let's have you stand right there. I'm going to load up a wax bullet, and we're going to shoot some targets, and you're going to hold the targets. Cool? Yes, good. All right, now, my show is insured, which is good for you. I do like the fact that I protect your beautiful face with this facial shield. Turn around and face everybody, and just hang on to the front as it comes down. Good. Hang on right here with both hands. Good. There's an apple up here on top of your head. It's not on there very good. Don't touch it. Is it funny? It will be funny when I try to shoot it. All right, now, it's a couple of small screws holding it in place. A wax bullet will take that right off the top of your head. We use a lot of wax bullets in the quick draw competitions where there's a metal target and you wait, and at any given moment, a little light illuminates. You draw, you fire, wax bullet, hits the target, registers your time, so there's accuracy involved. I don't do that, but I do like to use the wax bullets to do target work up here because a lead bullet will perforate the body. No good, right? Good. Wax bullet, remove the apple. If I miss, Sam, it's usually up here. If it's a little bit low, I don't know, watch the impact, right? And if it's any lower, it won't draw blood or anything. It'd be like being hit with a paintball gun point blank. I don't know, I'll autograph the bruise. All right, so let's do this. This is, if I miss, it'll spatter uselessly behind you on the wall. And in my one bullet like Barney 5. All right, now if you're not familiar with the guns of the Old West, a lot of them were single action revolvers. This is the unloaded gun on my hips here, but if it were loaded, you could pull the trigger, nothing would happen. You must first pull the hammer back and then pull the trigger. So it's a two-part method to make the gun go off, which is why in a lot of Western movies you see fanning or different ways to bring the gun around and use the other hand to cock it back. So Sam, I'm gonna do a series of tricks with the gun, cock the hammer back, blam, from the hip, apple, goodbye, off your head, right? But because we're at such close quarters, some people are like, yeah, or it is that. So we're going to turn up the danger factor. We're going to do it blindfolded. Now, it's very important you don't move. Stare right at me. Don't move, because what I'm going to do is memorize your exact position in my head so that when I turn and fire, I know right where it is by memory, right? So let me just do a couple, make sure I can get used to it, so don't move. Let's get used to exactly. Oh, so where we are here. Yes. It's pretty good. Okay. Let's get this on just right so that there is no cheating whatsoever. See, much better. All right, here we go. But I'm still gonna go for it. Are you ready? Yes. Do you think doesn't world champion Gunslinger sound self-appointed? But yeah, most things you sure trust me. I'm not really that good of a shot. I just wanted to see if you do it. You're so brave. Thank you, Sam. Head on back to your seat. I appreciate your faith and hope in my accuracy, which is not there yet. But someday, if I don't care if I ever work again, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. But today I'm feeling pretty good. I am on the upswing of my bipolarness, so we're gonna end the show in a non-ambulatory fashion. But thank you, Sam. I appreciate your good faith. All right. Well, with that said, let's get into the two-handed work. You've seen plenty of tricks where one hand is concerned. You want to see what I can do with two hands?
I'm able to.
Good. Two people. That's fine. Watch this. Isn't that weird? I get better every show because I practice on your time. I'm getting paid for this. Take that, parents. All right, here we go. Both guns, look at them roll. We can do double flat spins for your viewing pleasure. Hey, bring the guns up, reverse the trigger positions back around, and then walk them home. There you go. Hey. Now, it took a while to get the left hand to follow the right hand because I am right-handed to start off with. But after a while, you do get used to doing the mirror image stuff. You can start getting a little bit trickier. Stop a gun, go the other direction with that one. Go back and forth, up high or out front. And some holster manipulations there. Get in the holster left, right, left. Good, not good. All right, anyway. Moving right along. Now we'll get back to the basics of playing with these guns. A lot of actors I work with have never done much of this, so the muscle memory and dexterity is just not there. And so we'll practice for a while, but it takes them a long time just of focusing on one gun spinning true and not getting all wobbly and ganky. So it's funny because 99% of the time they will look and stare and their other hand will start doing this. And they'll say, "How do I look, Joey?" And I say, "Yeah, that looks great. Hold on to your belt or something." Anyway, for me, a lot of this becomes second nature. I do this so often, so it's almost like playing a little program in my brain computer, so I can say, okay, left hand, do a backward spin, so I can concentrate on stuff with the right hand that requires concentration, and that gun on the left just kind of takes care of itself. Now, a lot of people say, man, that's two different tricks with two different hands, but to me, it's just a basic twirl and a trick. Two different tricks looks a little more like this. We'll do a flat spin on the right hand, whatever that is on the left. Wow. Both sides of the brain working in unison and harmony. Hey, all right. Now let's let go of this gun some more. This is called a border shift. Every time you took a gun and you threw it from one hand to the other, they called that a border shift. Almost a border drop. But anyway, a border shift. And make sure I really pronounce the F in that sentence so you know I'm not referring to something you do on a long cattle drive right between states. All right, anyway, a couple of reasons you might do this. You might be a better, more accurate shot with your right hand. So you might fire all 6 shots at whatever you're aiming at. Toss the gun over, keep shooting with the stronger, more accurate hand. This would be stupid. It's a continuous border shift. I would have been shot by now by the other guy. And we can also do an over the shoulder, switch hands in front. Or a lot tougher, we can throw one up and one down. And with enough wasted afternoons, you can do a little bit of everything. Make those guns really come alive just before you die. All right. This is the part again where I stare at you. Hey. You guys are such a beautiful audience.
So free.
Let's see here. That's perfect. I've got lots of these. Late at night when I can't sleep, I load them on my computer. I zoom up on your faces. We have